Welcome to week 4 of Healing the Body. This week we're shifting to the body of relationships that have to do with our families. The first 3 weeks were about our relationships with our own bodies, our individual bodies, physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, those bodies. This week we're shifting gears towards the relationship with our families, the individual members of that family, and also the relationship of that family itself as a unit. And when I say family, I really mean at least 2 things. One thing that I mean is that group of people who were around when we were especially being formed when we were young. So you might call this a family of origin or a birth family. I mean, it depends on your situation and context. But those people who are around for those first years of life. That's one way of thinking about family. Another way of thinking about family is those people who are around in your daily life very regularly today. For those of us who have partners or spouses, it would include them. If you have children, then it would include children. If your parents live with you, or if you live with your parents, it would include them. If you have other relationships of love, of people that you see on a daily basis, then it would include them as well. So the focus, body-wise, this week is on heart and blood. And I want to unpack those words in a couple different ways. In terms of heart, one thing that I think about in terms of heart is that heartbeat, the heart as it's squeezing in order to push blood out to the physical body and then receive blood back to be replenished with nourishment and then sent out and then comes back, that rhythm. So this week is a lot about rhythms, and I'm going to be asking all of us to pay attention to our rhythms, including our rhythms of family relationships. What are the rhythms? What are the habits? What are the patterns of those relationships? For better and worse, right? I mean, every relationship has both its better side and its worse side, its shadow side, perhaps we could call it. Then also this week we're going to talk about blood, and we're going to focus on blood. Of course, blood is that substance which delivers that nourishment that's pumped from the heart out to the parts of our body, and then feeds those parts, and then comes back carrying waste products and also coming back in order to be replenished and then head back out again. So again, thinking about those patterns, those systems, those rhythms of relationships. And one of the reasons I especially like this connection between a week focusing on family and family relationships and this word blood is that we have this saying about having good blood or bad blood, which is cumulative. It's not just about the pattern, it's about the way in which that pattern has impacted us or affected us over time. So to have bad blood with someone else, we usually don't say that over a single instance. It has to do with a history, a pattern of unhelpful or unhealthful relationship or relating. And then, of course, with heart, we have this question of emotion. The heart has frequently been ascribed to being the seat of emotion, at least on Valentine's Day. I think it might actually be the stomach, but that's a whole nother conversation. With the heart, we have these associations of strong emotions, of having strong passions, of having deep care or sympathy, and other strong emotions oftentimes are seen as seated in the heart. So this is a week focusing on family, however you define that in your life, in both the presence and absence of those people who have been really important in our formation and may be important in our ongoing love relationships and relationships of care and nurturance, or not, depending on the day or depending on the relationship. And then we also are looking at the body parts of the heart and blood, and we're looking at those words metaphorically as well. And then thirdly, we're looking at patterns and habits, and rhythms. Welcome to week 4 of Healing the Body.